Hello and welcome to Saturday Night Crafting. I am so happy to be here. I love Saturday Night Crafting with you guys. I hope you've got your drink, whatever you're drinking, and you're going to sit down and craft with me. Tonight we've got a fun one. However, there's a little bit of funny footage going on, and I'm going to explain. I started out with this card here, and my original thought was to make sort of a see-through card, which I then changed my mind on. So you're going to see some elements kind of pop in and out that don't quite line up with what I'm doing, but I'll explain that as we go. So I started out with these heart dies and this stamp set here. Now what I want to do is emboss with this stamp set, and I want to be able to color within the image. Now I started with the stamp set, but however I had to change my mind because you've really got to look at your stamps and have a look and see if they are true to the image behind them. So these are beautiful stamps, but they are fatter when you stamp them than the image looks on the outline of the translucent paper, if that makes sense. So these images weren't going to work for coloring because they were just too close together once you stamp them. So I'm going to transition to a different stamp set, which you'll see in a second. I've got my heart dies, and what I want to do is cut myself a little border. So I'm going to line up my die on the bottom, or on my desk, sorry, and I've got the die cut side up, and I'm putting a bit of low tack tape behind it. This is from AliExpress. It's like post-it note tape, but on a big roll. And I'm just placing that underneath my dies to hold them in place so I can get a nice even border that I'm going to cut with these dies. Layering dies are amazing for this. If you've got any layering dies, this will work. I'm going ahead and using this champagne cardstock, which is from one of my new favorite sellers of cardstock, and I will link their website down below. They are a UK supplier and they sell holographic card and all kinds of foil card, and they've actually got their own website now. They used to sell on eBay, so I'll link that down below for you. I'm going to use the Simply Made Crafts stamp set, which is called Love and Laughter, and this is still available, which is really exciting because I got it ages ago, and it has got these stunning flowers, and they are so detailed when you stamp. You'll see them. They are just beautiful. They are my cup of tea for sure. I've gone ahead and die cut out a vellum heart in the largest of the hearts, so that it can sit right underneath my gold frame that I've made with the outside layer. So again, if you've got circles, if you've got squares, if you've got octagons, you can do this sort of technique with any of those and make yourself a little frame. I've gone ahead and die cut out that heart, and now I didn't manage to film it because I did have a bit of a switch back and forth here when I did my little oopsie first trial run. But I have gone ahead and used... No, I haven't done. I'm going to show you now. You need to use your embossing bag. So I went and started stamping and forgot the embossing bag. Make sure to use that embossing bag because it will stick to this vellum. Vellum is like a plastic paper, so it really is quite easy to end up with embossing powder where you don't want it. So make sure you've got one of those little powder bags. It's an anti-static powder bag. I'm taking my floral stamps and I am stamping them around, and I apologize because it's really hard to see and my head gets in the way a lot, but once I put the embossing powder on, you'll see exactly what I mean, and it's like magic. It's so exciting. I actually got really excited and die cut out a few other shapes so I can crack on and do this some more because I loved it so much, and it took me no time at all to do. My first run I didn't do so well. It took me quite a while because I ended up doing the long way first. But this is quick and easy. So all I've done is sprinkled on some gold embossing powder. This is from Alina Crafts. I'll link it down below. She's on AliExpress and ships worldwide. This is a fine gold embossing powder. So it's really fine, which is what you want when you've got these detailed, intricate stamps. So have a look at your stamps, dig out what you've got, and have a go. My vellum is not a heat resistant or a special vellum. It's just a slightly thicker vellum. It's like a vellum cardstock I got from Stampin' Up! Quite a few years ago. I'm just using it up because it's in my stash. Now, if you go ahead and stamp and you kind of miss a little piece, like I did that one little flower, you can buy embossing pens, which have the embossing ink in it, and you can just kind of color it in. Alternatively, you could probably just pick up a bit of the ink from your ink pad and kind of plop it on with some kind of paintbrush or something. That would be my guess. And do the same thing and just fill in that space. Okay, I'm going to get really excited about these markers as well. So Arteza have come out with new ultra markers. So this is the first set that I got from them. and these are my alcohol pens, and I love them. They are lovely, but some of the colors just weren't, they didn't look like the color on the lid, and they weren't that great. You'll see what I mean in a second. But they have revamped their markers a bit, so you can still buy the originals, but now you can get these new ones, and these new ones have even more colors. So there are about 8, I think, that transfer over from the old set to the new set, and I put a little silver dot on all the ones that were the same color. However, the colors are different. They're more true colors to what the name and the lid looks like. So I've also got this really awesome marker pad. So it's quite thin paper, but it's designed for alcohol pens, so you can blend with them. And it comes with this sheet of vellum that you can stick underneath so it doesn't bleed through. So you can stamp your images and then die cut them out. Now here are the colors. These are a few of the colors that overlapped, and you can see the color difference between the original colors and the new colors. So this pink one, the blush pink, is so much better in the new version. So I'm really, really excited, and they're really super duper juicy as well. And the other exciting thing that I noticed on Arteza's website, which I've already got my eyes on, is they're doing color families. So they've got a tropical one on the UK site, and they've got a whole bunch of other ones on the American site. So come on, bring them to the UK. But you can get sort of color families in much smaller chunks of markers, which is really exciting. So that's my little side note. I'm really sorry. I'm just really excited about these markers, and they're really fun. I'll link them down below. They're available in the UK and the US, and I don't think you can get them anywhere else, so I'm sorry. Right, I didn't film this bit, but you've got to flip over your image and color from behind. So I've flipped my vellum cardstock over, and I'm coming in with my alcohol markers. Now, if you've got Sharpies or any other kind of alcohol markers, we're not blending, so you can just use any alcohol markers. And the reason I'm using alcohol markers is because the vellum is like that plastic paper. So this dries fast and quick and easy. And the reason we're coloring from behind is that we then don't have to worry about the embossed images. And I find if I use an alcohol pen on embossing powder, it kind of rubs that powder off a little bit and kind of sticks to my pen nib. It's a bit of a pain, whereas if you color from behind, you can be a lot messier, which we like, a lot quicker, which we like, and you get this beautiful image through the vellum because it's see-through. So really, really fun technique to do is using your alcohol pens and coloring from behind. And given we're not blending, use your Sharpies, whatever you've got in your stash, and do that. Regular pens won't work. They'll kind of smear and they won't dry very quick because this is like a plastic paper. I was just sharing with you there that I am using a vanilla cardstock rather than a white cardstock. Because I'm using the gold, it just blends a lot better to have a nice sort of vanilla card rather than a bright white. I thought I wanted to change up this background a bit, add a bit more interest to it. So I decided to go ahead and stamp the background as well. And I'm using this Sheen Wow embossing powder, which I bought from Craft Stash a couple months ago. So if it's still there, I'll put it down in the description box for you. It's a see-through, not see-through, it's a clear, yeah, see-through clearish embossing powder. I haven't tried it on colored cards, so it could be that it's more white, so I apologize. But it gives a sheen look. So it gives a slightly shiny pearlescent look to it. So you can see it here. So it just adds that interest without taking away from the beautiful colors that we've done on our focal point, which is the heart. So I went ahead and glued that border, that frame, onto our vellum piece, and I used liquid glue so I could kind of slide it around, and I did leave it to dry with something heavy on top to make sure that it stuck well. Now, given I'm going to stick this down onto the card, I'm using some mixed media glue here. This is the Ranger Matte Medium glue, and I've put it into a little squeezy bottle. If you follow Natasha Foote, you can Google search onto YouTube how to fill a glue bottle, and Natasha shows you that on there. So I left that for about half an hour with my cup of water on top and all my little stamp blocks to make sure that it stayed on there, because it is a plasticky kind of paper, so it can curl a bit and not want to stick so well. Then I found this little sentiment that I liked in my stash. It's from Tailored Expressions, their sentiment and stamp set, and I've just die cut them all out, and I've been working my way through them. And I've got my little flat back sort of gemmy things, enamel dots, that's what they're called, enamel dots. And these are the glitter ones. I'll link them down below. I bought like the big multi-pack, bulk pack, which cost about £8 or £9 for I think about 15 of these sheets, and I love them and I use them all the time. So for me, they're worth every penny, and I got them from AliExpress. I went through and found in my stash a vanilla or an ivory stamped image one. Gosh, my words are everywhere tonight. It's 9 o'clock and I want this video online. I want you guys to hang out with me. Anyways, I found the matching cardstock rather than the white one, and I stuck that over top to kind of make sure that my sentiment matched my card base. Now on the left, this is the card that I did earlier, and I'm sharing with you now one of the samples that I've cut out. I used the scallop circle for my next card, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp some more images on there and color behind it. But that one on the left, I had a good time with, but I did it incorrectly. I die cut into the cardstock, and then I decided to cover the back of the cardstock, so it seemed a bit pointless. It was just much easier to die cut out everything and just stick it right onto the top of the card. I hope I'm making sense. I don't think I am. But this is another way you could do it. I die cut out happy, and I die cut it out with the gold, but I stacked it onto 3 layers of white. And then I had some foliage dies in my stash, so I went ahead and die cut those out of white and stuck it behind to kind of break up that gold a little bit and added on a sentiment. And here's the one that we did. Here's a better view of this card where you can see that sort of shimmer behind it. Again, this is the happy one that I did originally. But those are the 2 versions of the card that I did tonight, and I had a lot of fun, and it really didn't take long. After I realized the error of my ways with the first card, the second one just came together, and it was really good fun. So I hope you sit down, find those alcohol pens wherever they're hiding, whatever you've got in your stash, dig out your gold embossing powder, or you could even use silver, whatever you've got in your stash. A metallic is the key. The metallic is what makes these cards pop and shine. I hope you have a go. I have a Facebook group if you'd like to join me over there and share any of your makes with me. I'm also on Instagram, and I am doing my best to share photos on Instagram as well, especially of the cards that I make for design teams that I don't do videos for. So thank you for joining me today. I can't wait to see you in the next video. Take care and have a really awesome weekend. Bye.